I definitely did say, or are they juggernauts? I wasn't ready to anoint them a juggernaut yet. I will say that, but we could debate. I did re-listen to that episode, but I'm good. I'm good on being partially proven wrong here. There are areas though that are haven't really improved yet. Rush defense hasn't improved yet. And there's certain elements of their neutral zone that have gotten better, and we'll break that down during this episode. But one area, and we're not even actually going to dive into it because I'm going to remain on the positive side of the ledger here, is that their power play since January 8th, when we did that episode, is 16.7%, which has them about 24th in the league. And even since the All-Star break, where they're 9-1, just coming off a 10-game winning streak, their power play is 14.7%, which has them 26th. Everything else seems to be trending in the right direction.
Okay, so let's talk about that neutral zone, because you pointed out about 6 weeks ago that their pretty strict 1-3-1 had some holes in it. So walk us through the tape and show us what you see. Has it changed? Is it different? Is it better?
It's more connected, to be honest. It's just more connected, especially off of line changes. And this is a team that we'll cover in the offseason. One thing Jacques Martin did for the Ottawa Senators, line changes. And what you do when you jump on the ice is so hugely important. You got to know where your spot is. And the Rangers with their 1-3-1, especially on line changes, especially in second period situations, especially when you are late on the forecheck, it's going to happen. That's when you cannot be disjointed and just chase and, oh, look where the puck's going and be puck focused. You've got to establish a really good posture, and that area has improved exponentially. It's more consistent, and they're forcing teams to start to dump pucks in at a higher rate, and they are recovering those pucks, which a 1-3-1 is known for doing, with an exit leading to an exit out of their zone. So that area has improved, but I just wanted to fire up here about 5 or 6 clips that shows what it's also doing for their transition game. So here they're sitting, bang, here's a clear 1-3-1. What do they need to do? They need to stop. They need to steal pucks. Boom. Steal it. K'Andre Miller places it. You got your place and chase. Panarin's got to get off. But you're going to see once the guy steps on, he knows that's going to be his lane, right? And it's a 1-3-1. Now they force them to regroup, and look how they're patient, and they fall back into a tight 1-3-1, recover, and steal that puck again. Here, when in doubt, when you do get disjointed or disconnected, you got to reload, get above pucks, and you've got to recover pucks, and that's what Shesterkin does for them here. Now you've got this relentless pursuit by Panarin. Now everybody else has to get into their spots. They get into their spots, and it creates an opportunity to send pucks deep and reload that forecheck. And the less that they've got to do, try to make plays where they're giving up odd man rushes and they can be more connected in the neutral zone, I see it as an area that is more consistent. It's still not at the level it needs to be, but it is trending in the right direction.
So we talked a lot about their goaltending too, and it's been a storyline all season long. Jonathan Quick, it seemed like for a week in time, was the guy, but Shesterkin has really turned his game around of late. What are you seeing that's different from him after that week spent with Benoit Allaire?
Yeah, and I was very complimentary in Jonathan Quick, and the fact that between he and Louis Domingue, they had totaled 10 wins at that time, 10 out of 38 games played at that time of the year, which equaled the amount of wins Halak had won in his backup role. And now all of a sudden, Shesterkin's always had it, but now he's playing like the man. And I think there's elements of his tracking, how well he's doing during chaotic moments at the net and making multiple saves, and how he recovers off of saves. And Jonathan Quick is just the steady Eddie number 2 right now. And this tandem got to be the best tandem in the Eastern Conference by far, if not the NHL.
The Bruins don't like you saying that.
Pardon?
I said the Bruins don't like you saying that.
Well, right now, the consistency of these two will be pushing the Bruins tandem for that number one kind of spot when it comes to a 1A, 1B, 1A, or a 1 and a 2. But as we're going to see with some of these saves, it's not just the number of saves, but it's at the certain key moments when it's a certain score or PK or whatever the case may be. So here it's, they get driven back, but it's how he's tracking. You can see his eyes on the puck. Here's a 2-on-0 shorthanded break. Hold the lead, third period, under 10 minutes to go. You're up by 1. Fine. Boom. Easy save, up back on his feet. And you can see that head's always tracking, always tracking. Hell of a move by Heiskanen. Sick move. Boom. That's a tap in, isn't it? This one I had to go to the replay. Are you kidding me, ref? Right? Are you kidding me? Watch the reaction. He gets 2 saves in tight. Even Tyler Seguin is looking up at the Jumbotron going, are you joking? And Shesterkin's just going to go to the water. You see the fans are pointing up at the Jumbotron. And look at this paddle save. Puck comes loose again, and he covers it up like he does this every day. Little tap over, bang, blocker save. It's how quickly he's recovering to his feet, how quickly he gets his chest up instead of his chest down, and he's square. And then when you get opportunities to put in Jonathan Quick, he's to task. Their awareness, he's pointing, he's aware, he's sharp. When your D-man gets dangled by potentially the Hart Trophy winner, you've got to back him up, and that's another key moment. And it's the consistency at which these two goalies are not necessarily bailing them out, but at times they are bailing them out in key moments when the game is tight.
So let's go to the other end of the ice now and talk a little bit about this offensive outburst that the Rangers have seen as of late. What's led to the uptick in scoring for them?
Depth. I mean, I think everybody was hoping Hedl would come back soon. Unfortunately, he got hurt. Everybody was waiting to see what Kakko would do when he got back. Well, he's put up about 8 points in his last 10 games. There's someone on this nation that just is a huge Laferriere fan, and he thinks he could potentially be a 100-point guy at some point. But it's the depth of scoring. In their last 10 games, they've got 13 goal scorers. 13 goal scorers spread out across the lineup, and that's with Blake Wheeler being out, Hedl not even in the lineup. You got 13 goal scorers. How do you do that? Well, you've got to have a diversification in how you create offense. And one element that always lends itself, especially with the elements that they have, is quick ups. Even if you don't score on the quick up, it's how quickly you recover, and then you get the motion of 5 guys moving, and then you got a quick strike within the zone. So let's fire up those clips. And when in doubt, why not have Shesterkin just sauce one up the ice versus a bad line change, creates a 2-on-1, bang, Chris Kreider buries it. You cannot be sleeping. You've got to have better line changes. Lindgren, great one-touch, kind of quick up, no stick handle, little crisscross, and that creates space, right? Boom. Who's going right down the middle? Laferriere, a little chip in the middle. And why not? Johnny Lazarus, that's for you, right? That one was for you. Get up the ice, but you got to get the puck back. So tracking, great tracking will catch teams going 4 men up the ice. You get up the ice, Kakko gets it to the net, and you get a tap in by Cooley. When in doubt, a guy loses his blade, so what? Adam Fox comes in, silky move, uses that Harvard degree again to find the angles and slides it right over to Chris Kreider. It's the depth. They're just moving pucks. Everybody's getting involved. Again, Kakko, more of a shot-first mentality, skating pucks in deeper, get a tap in again. Through the neutral zone, good posture. These are call-ups. Edstrom, Rempe, and all of a sudden Edstrom's going to go, Rempe's going to drive, and you bank it off a skate, and it goes back in. And that, again, lends itself to depth. Rempe, again, net presence. Yes, he hasn't played much, but I've covered him in the American Hockey League. He knows who he is, and he knows what he has to do. Big body, get to the net. There's no chance the goalie's going to see that puck. And when in doubt, get that puck moving, get 5 guys involved. And if you sleep and you've got Fox on the ice, he's going to make you pay. You cannot have that kind of posture if Adam Fox is on the ice. And last but not least, similar to the quick ups, is keep the play moving. Don't overhandle, don't dust it off, bang in the back of the net. And that's why the Rangers have become way more effective offensively. And last but not least, win the net front battles. And that's what you see right here on this tap in off of a one faceoff. So depth up and down the lineup has been very prevalent in their way of scoring.
What's up, hockey fans? If you enjoyed that video, then you need to be hitting the subscribe button right here at Daily Faceoff. Exclusive interviews and analysis from our hockey insider Frank Saravalli, fantasy updates from Brock Sagan, and a daily live show at noon Eastern, Monday through Friday. You don't want to miss any of the fantastic content, so hit that subscribe button.